Welcome back to the Fluent English podcast. Today we will explore one of the most chilling and captivating real-life crime stories. Let's get into the video.
Hello all. Hope all are doing great. Today, we will dive into the mysterious and tragic disappearance of Jennifer Dulos, a case that captivated the nation for years. Jennifer's story is filled with betrayal, obsession, and a relentless search for justice. This case has all the twists and turns of a Hollywood thriller, except, it's all tragically real.
Jennifer Dulos was a 50-year-old mother of 5 living in New Canaan, Connecticut, a small town known for its picturesque streets and affluent residents. By all outward appearances, Jennifer had it all: a successful career as a writer, a beautiful family, and a charming home. But behind closed doors, things were not as perfect as they seemed.
That's right, Jennifer was going through a divorce with her estranged husband, Fotis Dulos, a wealthy real estate developer. The couple had been married for 13 years, but their relationship had become increasingly toxic and, ultimately, violent. In 2017, Jennifer filed for divorce and was granted sole custody of their 5 children.
But Fotis wasn't going to let go so easily. Sources later revealed that he was obsessed with Jennifer, not just with the marriage, but with control over her life. He would continually fight for custody of the children, and their legal battles grew more heated with each passing month.
On May 24, 2019, Jennifer dropped her children off at school and then disappeared. She was last seen leaving her home that morning, driving her black SUV. But by the time her friends and family noticed she was missing, there were no signs of struggle or evidence that she had been taken by force. It was as if she had vanished into thin air.
But it didn't take long for investigators to start piecing things together. Security footage from around the area showed that Jennifer's vehicle was seen near her home, but strangely, her SUV was found parked at a nearby park. And even more disturbing, forensic evidence found bloodstains in her garage, leading authorities to believe that something violent had taken place there.
This was when the investigation took a sharp turn. Fotis Dulos, Jennifer's ex-husband, became a prime suspect. Police began to suspect that he had played a role in her disappearance, and the evidence started stacking up. Investigators found that Fotis had purchased cleaning supplies in the days leading up to Jennifer's disappearance. And even more damning, they found traces of Jennifer's blood in the car that Fotis had been driving.
But here's where the case gets even stranger. Fotis Dulos, along with his girlfriend, Michelle Traconis, was charged with tampering with evidence and hindering the investigation. It was clear that Fotis was doing everything in his power to cover his tracks. Authorities believe he had a plan to frame someone else and mislead investigators.
By the summer of 2019, Fotis was arrested and charged with Jennifer's murder, though her body had still not been found. The evidence against him was overwhelming, but the prosecution would have to prove that he had actually killed her. In the meantime, the public and the media became obsessed with the case, following every twist and turn.
It's important to note that despite all of this, Fotis maintained his innocence. He claimed that he had nothing to do with Jennifer's disappearance and that he was being framed. But as the investigation continued, the case became even more complex.
Then, in January 2020, things took a tragic and unexpected turn. Fotis Dulos was found unresponsive at his home. It was later determined that he had attempted suicide. He had left behind a suicide note, which some believed was a final statement of guilt.
Fotis Dulos passed away shortly after being hospitalized, but his death did little to bring closure to Jennifer's case. As of now, her body has never been found, and the mystery of what happened to Jennifer Dulos remains unsolved, though her ex-husband's actions suggest he knew more than he ever let on.
This case is a haunting reminder of the lengths some people will go to in order to maintain control over their lives and relationships, even if it means committing the unthinkable. Jennifer Dulos' family and friends continue to fight for justice in her name, hoping that one day, they will finally get the answers they deserve.
That's it for today's episode. It's a sad and frustrating story, and one that reminds us how important it is to keep pushing for justice, even when it seems out of reach. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. And as always, stay vigilant.
Thanks for listening, and remember, the truth is out there, sometimes you just have to dig deep to find it.